One Owner Car Guy, oneownercarguy.com, and what I got here for you today is a detailing video on this 2003 Ford Excursion. Now, I'm not at the same kind of area I am where I can give you the full walk around, but I can give you a lot of a walk around, and it is a beautiful Eddie Bauer. Paint and everything's in good shape, just with the age and the usage and everything like that. It has got some wear, tear, little scuffs, scratches and stuff, and we're gonna polish it out. Colin, my friend, is here from Canada, chipdentsdetail.com, and you can check out his site there. He does scratch, chip, dent repair and stuff like that, and detailing on a professional level for the bigger dealerships up in Edmonton, Alberta. That's correct, right?
Correctamundo.
I always say Calgary and all. I don't know all the areas. I get them messed up. I'm geographically challenged. So that's kind of a walk around. Now, on an up close type thing, there's lots of areas. At first look, it's in great shape. But right in here, you can see some light fading starting in on the top. It's just kind of dull right there. On these ridges, right in here, you can see all kinds of, if you feel it, you can hear. There's just all kinds of little bumpy bumps. And that's just little, well, look at my fingers. We just washed it. This scuff here, something like that scuff, I'm just guessing, saying that that scuff's gonna come about 70% out or so. You can see the top ridge of it, and a lot of this here is going to come out. A lot of little scuffs and scratches that are just very minor. They don't even matter. They're not gonna show up after this. It's definitely a paint that's not been hammered and sitting out like that one. Totally different thing, and that's a newer paint, so it hasn't got the fading to it yet like this does. These little marks in here, it's just the sort of thing that's going to go away. Scratches, you can see that hopefully. I'm just going to go around, and them are watermarks. There's scuffs here, all kinds of scuffs and scratches in that door. Deep scratches and gouges are not going to come out like that one. That little scuffy bump right there, it's gonna mostly come out. That'll come out. Stuff like that. Very easy to get them little insignificant minor scuffs and scratches like that. It's gonna come right out. A lot of these marks you see, just different environmental wear and tear on the paint is it's exactly what the polishing takes care of. Now, polishing doesn't really take care of any waxing. When I mix my wax, polish, whatever you want to call it, sometimes I'll put a polish in it, a wax in the polish to where you're getting both at the same time, but that's not going to give you premium sealage with your wax. If you want that, you need to go over with a carnauba or a cherry wax or whatever kind of wax you prefer to use on it, kind of get a shell over what you got when you're done polishing. The polishing will make it all even and glass-like and nice and smooth though. These scuffs here, I'm gonna say like 80%, that's just gonna go bye-bye. So I'm gonna leave my camera here. I'm gonna leave a cord to where it can get charged in and plugged in and charged a little bit. And Colin's gonna do some buffing on it, and he's gonna grab the camera and do some filming and talking to you and stuff, and yeehaw. And you can see here, he's getting a mixture going on right now. Boom, boom. And it takes 3 or 4 different things for what we're doing. And it definitely is gonna make a neater thing. Now, when you mix the wax and the polish, you get a little bit of hazing, whereas if you're doing just a polish, most polishes don't haze. And it makes it a lot easier to see the surface and see what you're working with. The hazing kind of messes you up because you gotta come over it twice sometimes, and just know what you're working with. All this stuff will be for sale, cansoup.com, hipstercars.com, many more sites, just about a month or so, I guess. Thanks for watching. Colin will clip more in a second. Right there, you can just see all these scratchy scuffs. And a lot of that easily comes out. Now, some things ain't gonna all come out, but I'll take a close-up of this area too to where you can see it when we're done with it.
Colin, Chip Dents Detail. I was just gonna go over a couple things here. For kind of like the backyard guy or the guy that wants to do it on the weekend or might be apprehensive to polish a car just because of what they heard about burning through paint and such. So yeah, basically I just want to give you some insight on how to maybe remove some of that fear and go from there. So yeah, basically, you know, this is not sterile environment that some guys YouTube videos might have, and everything's like perfect, and this is a $1 million Porsche that we're working on. Now this is just doing cars every day and improving their appearance and using good products. So basically, variable speed polisher, Harbor Freight in the States, Princess Auto in Canada. This one I've used quite a bit down here. It's not a bad unit, works well, can't complain about that. But yeah, the DeWalt's, the Makitas, you can spend good money, upwards of $250 for a variable speed polisher. It has to be variable speed because that's the control you want to have. Can't be just on and off. And yeah, various compounds from mild to wild, basically aggressive. But I always tend to start with the minimal first, and you can get into different pads as well. This pad here is somewhat aggressive. It looks more aggressive than what it actually is, but it's a fairly soft pad. You can get into some pretty heavier pads, so you can have a rainbow of heavy pads, or you can have a rainbow of different pads and a rainbow of different products, and you can kind of cross them in various ways to achieve different results. Meaning you don't always have to use an aggressive pad with an aggressive product, and you don't always have to use a soft pad with a mild product. So you can use variants of everything to achieve. So yeah, I kind of have my own kind of thing that I know how to approach a car, just judging upon the appearance of it. The appearance of this is pretty good. Paint's in really nice shape. Not a lot of fallout, bird droppings and all that stayed on the vehicle over time. I don't see any of that. There's the door dings, typical stuff like that. Various scratches around the filler door there for the fuel. Some scratches on the cargo doors and stuff like that. But overall, it's a generally pretty good vehicle in good condition. So yeah. So basically, I'm not really going to get into aggressive cutting on the whole thing. I might hit maybe these little spots that need it more so than anything else, and then just do a general mild cut over or mild polish. I'm not even going to cut it, so it's just a mild polish over the whole thing. Yeah. So anyway, let's get started. So basically, So yeah, we're going to preload the pad. I like to do that. Some people say it's unnecessary. To me, I've seen it done by a fellow years ago, and yeah, it's just a kind of a habit I get into doing, to preload the pad and basically look at the areas that I'm going to try to correct, and then we'll attack it. Yeah. It's your choice, preloading pads or not. It's just personal preference. Yeah, so what you're going to need to start, basically, like I mentioned, the variable speed polisher, some selections of pads. Just give you an idea. You can have different types, colors, types, density, low density, high density. Yeah, there's ribbed, flat. It's hard to go by colors. Industry dictates, the whites are the lights and the darks are the more aggressive pads, but different manufacturers make them opposite. So it's really what, just watch out for what you're reading if you're ordering it online or in a store. Basically talk to the guy behind the counter and tell him what you're looking for. But you want a soft pad and a hard pad. That'll get you going. A selection of microfiber towels, because they're great for wiping off the sling, because it's going to be messy. Just to give you an idea, some guys go, "Oh man, you're making a mess and you got stuff going everywhere." That's not professional. It does get a little messy, but you can generally keep the sling down once the pad's got some product in it, and you don't have to use so much, to my experience. And the way I look at sling is if you get it on things then you have to go over and do a quality control over the whole vehicle for the client. You're not going to overlook anything where you might have got sling or not. If you get sling on the car, then you have to wipe the whole car down afterwards, and you can catch any imperfections that you might have missed on your first or second pass with the polisher. So it's good for quality control. But you know, backyard, doing it in your driveway, it's up to yourself how you want to do it. The rain will take it off, or you can drive to the car wash. So yeah, so basically I just started with this door here and did a pass with it. I can see a couple spots that I just didn't quite get with the towel after I wanted to wipe it. Looks like there's still a marker right in here, but that almost looks like just like a hologram. So anyway, we'll get into more of that later. Yeah, so the operation basically with a high-speed polisher, what I try and do is usually like no bigger than like a 24-inch square, you know, depending upon the panel and the trim and stuff like that, but just a smaller section at a time, wipe smaller section. And I usually try and do a cross pattern where I go right, left, overlapping my passes, turn, up, down, overlapping my passes. And I usually try and work in that unison every time, and then move on to my next section, doing the same thing, right, left, up, down, by basically overlapping about 50% on each pass. And that pretty well guarantees you're getting full coverage as far as the process you're trying to do. Yeah. Nathan's process might be different, but that works for him. The process you develop will work for you. I'm just saying what works for me. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not nothing. It's just how I do it. So that's all I'm offering to you. This is how I do this. Here, I'll get into a little bit. You can see how I'm doing by, you know, from what I just told you. You can see the actual process here. Just gonna find the compound. There it is. Stay away from tape. Stay away from tape. It's easier for you to cut in with your buffer. Stay away from that tape line. Because if you put too much heat into that tape, you'll burn right through it. You'll take it right off. And then you gotta put tape on it, which you don't necessarily need to do. You can always come in later with a microfiber towel with some compound on it, and just, if you wanted to smooth out the line, if you see a line there of compound versus non after it's been polished, generally the eye wouldn't pick it up, but if you want to be a perfectionist, you can do that. Also, your edges, your angles, your belt lines, anything that has a hard edge to it or a roll, the paint's going to be thinner on that surface. So the paint's going to be thinner here, or the clear coat, and here. Anywhere where there's a line in the body panel, the paint's going to be thinner, because you know, in the process of them applying it, it rolls off a little bit. So watch your angles. Don't hang on angles with a high-speed polisher, because you'll burn through the clear coat like that if it gets too hot. Same thing with your door handles and stuff. I really wouldn't go in here fishing around with a polisher, trying to get in here or anything like that. Stay away from your edge. You need to finish this by hand with two microfiber towels, one dirty, one clean, and do the process like that. So basically here we're going to do a little bit. Also, you might say, well, why are you going around those areas that you just told me not to go around? Well, because I've been doing it for a little while, and I have a good idea of the limitations of this product and the dangers. So once you get experience with it, you'll see yourself where you can actually push the envelope with corners and such. Another thing is your trim. I hit the trim a couple times, so the more times you hit the trim, the more you're gonna have to clean that stuff up. So you tend to try and stay away from that because that just creates more work afterwards. But for a rough cut, initial cut, heavy cut, which I don't have to be doing on this because it's in really good shape, but I just figured I'd show you that. And there is a slight haze there just from that compound that's a little bit, you probably can't pick it up on the camera, but there's a little haze that I can see, which is a byproduct of the more aggressive compound. But we'll use a different compound, a milder compound on the second pass, which will remove that haze, or swirl is what they call it, or hologram, or whatever. There's all kinds of industry terms for it. And yeah, it'll get closer to a much better surface. Anyway, that's that. So just another clip here regarding the compounds. I switched over to a more finer pad, softer, more pliable. I already preloaded it with some more milder compound. And basically, I think we're into about a 2,000 or 1,000 grit scratch. So basically, the more aggressive compounds are generally for cutting bigger scratches. It's all based on the same process as sandpaper. And you see the 320s and the 180s and it's all in the same grade, but these are up beyond sandpaper for the most part, where you can get into the thousands. So yeah, so we're gonna do another pass here with the milder compound with a softer pad. And that's that. So you see my pattern, cross pattern, about 50% overlap. Now let's take off the residue. And voila. Any kind of haze or swirl that was there is pretty much gonzo. And yeah, I really like that. I really like that finish. Smooth to the touch. I got to get a little bit more over here because I can see some scratching. Got to get a little bit more aggressive in there. But overall, that little section of panel is nice. So yeah, we're basically going to continue on with the panel, truck, all around. And yeah, got some overcast, which is beautiful because I totally don't recommend this in the sun, direct sun, especially California hot sun. Not the best case scenario. If you can find some shade under a tree, in a garage is the best. But then you have to deal with lighting as well, because your fluorescent lighting and what have you, your LEDs and stuff inside a garage, your finish is going to look different. Once you drive it outside under natural sunlight, you might start seeing some holograms that you might have missed. Yeah, it's tricky with lighting. But anyway, off topic there totally. Stay out of the sun as best you can. Here, unfortunately, there's no reprieve, So it's just small sections. If you have to do it in the sun, small sections at a time, wipe it off. Small sections at a time, wipe it off. Small sections at over and over and over and over and over. And then that way the sun doesn't really create too many problems for you. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. You're not gonna make me mad over that. Anyway, chipset detail. Thanks, and check in with you in a bit.
One owner car guy, back with you. I don't know where he's at it. He probably done his cameras, got his own little methods and stuff worked out, and I'm back and I'm jumping in and grabbing and showing what he's doing. It's looking good. You can see not only yourself, all kinds of stuff in that. You can see angels, not just clouds. So the battery went dead. I'm actually coming back out to zoom into this a bit. He's been buffing away, and it is looking fantabulous. Fantabulous.
Fantabulous. Not this side though. When the sun comes out, direct sunlight,
Yeah.
it's all swirls.
Really?
Yeah. Looks good right now. As soon as the sun comes out, you'll see it.
A little bit of wipey wipe.
I'll just do 2 stages.
Oh, you haven't done this side yet, huh?
Well, I've done
The door. Yeah, you did it there, huh?
I
or
did 2
something.
doors, and then I did this quarter because we switched places him and I.
Oh, gotcha.
So we wouldn't count it.
And Josh has been doing the
And I get him on the mothers now.
helmet caps.
So he's going to come out and do
Okay.
the aluminum. Give him a little how-to. He's on it.
On them brand new tires. They're brand new, aren't they?